Alright guys, working on 2012 Nissan Altima today. Changing the back bearings. Alright, so first thing you want to do is be safe. Make sure you got your car jacked up. Make sure you got jack stands underneath it and the front tires chalked off, and I do. So we're going to jump right into it. Get the tire off. 21 millimeter. If you have a impact, then you can lift it up, but if you don't, I would leave it on the ground, get the bolts free, and then jack it up. Otherwise you're just going to be spinning the tire. Next is the brake caliper. Get that off. We're going to disconnect these two big bolts, that one and that one down there. We're going to take the whole caliper off. Don't worry about these small ones, they don't need to come off. And these big bolts are 19 millimeter back here. This bottom one, you got this arm right here that gets right in your way. So if you got a regular wrench like that, 19 millimeter, I'm gonna help you out. Otherwise you may have to put an extension on this and get to that bolt. There you go. I got that 19 millimeter on there. I got an extension. You can see that extension bar right on top of that bar right there. So I mean, it comes right on top of it, but you can get to it with an extension, or like I said, box end wrench. All right, got it all out the way. When you take it off, I wrap the bungee cord up here, that way that thing won't fall in the way. Be careful not to break this hose. You don't want to do that. That is your brake fluid line hose. You puncture this any kind of way, you're gonna have to replace this thing a wrap. Few wraps with the hammer here. Always do it in separate areas. Free this thing up. No, she ain't ready. This one's on there good. There we go. I see it wiggle. There we go. And this is the part we're replacing, this right here. You hear it? That thing just does not sound good. Hear that? It is not smooth at all. But you can see the fork. There's a bolt right there. There's a bolt right in there. One down there, one right here. So there's four. But what you got to do is come in from behind it, back here, and get to them. And get a flashlight on for y'all. These four bolts are 17 millimeter. Got all the bolts loose. Before you pull this piece out, you know, remove your speed sensor right there. 10 millimeter. I've already loosened it. So I'm gonna show you where these four bolts came from, just so you don't get confused. Start loosening the wrong ones. Try to give you a shot of which ones I took out on purpose. You can see the four bolts that are not there anymore. And that's what we took out. Make sure, so you'll make sure y'all get the right ones. Just giving it wraps, guys, with the hammer. You see it moving, just different angles at a time. Here we go. She's out. Not worried about damaging this because I'm replacing this whole thing. This whole thing's getting replaced. Wouldn't be a bad idea to get in there and clean all this up. So, right, so when you get it in there, you're gonna line it up. And now that I've cleaned out all that inside, this thing moves very freely. It's not jammed in there. So, and also, you're going to make sure you line it up right, because it'll only go in there one way. There we go. That's the correct way. You can either flip it one way or the other. The whole thing rotates, but the back of it's got to go in just right. So, and you're going to need to get one bolt in to hold it up. You have to hold it with one hand and get one bolt in. Matter of fact, you can stick one bolt right there so you can see it, and then just work it on there just to get that thing to bite and hold it on there. Guys, I searched and searched, and I can't find a definitive torque spec for these rear bolts. The one I've seen pop up the most is 65 or 2012, which is like a 2007 to 2013 Nissan Altima rear wheel bearings. I've seen 44, I've seen 90 something pounds, but I've seen the 65 a couple of times. If you know the answer, please comment. I can't find a definitive answer. I'm gonna go with 65. So that's just what I'm gonna use. I've tightened them all the way down, finger tight. They went in there all the way. And now I'm gonna get in here and torque them down. All right, so I got my speed sensor back on. I did not really look up the torque for that. Just got it on there kind of tight. Little bit of hand tight. It's not a major piece that's gonna fall. If that comes out, you're not gonna get in a wreck. Anyways, I cleaned the inside of this hub out pretty good, and put it back on. I'm gonna go ahead and put the caliper back on. Now would be a good time to change your brakes if you need to, but you know, give them a look over, see how everything looks on them. But we're gonna put them back on. Probably may have to compress them, may have to take the brakes out, the little disc out, and compress it a little bit to get it back on here, but we'll see how that goes. All right, guys, got it all back together. I have to apologize, guys. I cannot find torque specs for half of this stuff. The internet just is way too many contradicting things, so I don't know what the torque specs are for putting this caliper back on. I apologize. There's just too many different things going on with it. So I tightened it pretty good turn. Once I got it really tight, they're pretty stout bolts, so confident they're not going anywhere. Got everything back together. We'll put this wheel on, and that's gonna be it.